Coffee is a huge part of everyone's culture now. You can get all these fancy coffees in the shops, everyone has these machines at home, little capsules or crazy big machines. But for me, the best kind of coffee is a cooked cardamom coffee. It gives it a bit of a kind of fragrance. This handy little coffee grinder, a couple of pods, whole pods go in there actually, surprisingly. And that goes into my little pot. Heat on to really high, and I'm going to add water. You want to fill the pot about 3/4 high, so because it kind of has a tendency to boil over, so you don't go too full, otherwise you'll completely make a mess all over your stove. And then the coffee goes in. I'm going to put 3 big teaspoons in there. It looks like a lot, but a lot of this ends up as residue that is left at the bottom. You don't drink it, but it just flavors the whole thing. Just the one mix, just so it starts to move into the water. It's a bit of a morning ceremony. So as soon as it boils up, take it off, because otherwise it will really overflow. And I give it one stir, and you give it a rest, and it thinks about what it's going to do. And then back on the stove, and you want it to boil again. Now if you're traditional, you do this 7 times. I'm a bit lazy in the morning, so 3 times is pretty much as I'll go. But the second boil, it all starts to get more homogeneous, the smell starts to come through, and just as it's coming up to the top, before it overflows, you pull it aside again. Now, this is a good time if you're not crazy about flecks of cardamom, which I'm not, is I just use my spoon, it's infused already, all the flavor is there, and because they floated to the top, I just scoop them off quickly, and then back on the stove, and you want it to boil again. Let it bubble up again, and the last thing we add is just a touch of sugar, just to sweeten the whole thing. It's quite a bitter coffee. And it kind of catches all the grinds and brings them down to the bottom. Boil it one last time and we're ready to serve. Traditionally, really tiny little dishes. You have a little slurp, you have a cookie. It adds the sweet, adds the bitter to the sweet. This is how you would finish a meal, but for breakfast, I'm going for something a bit more substantial. I can still have the cookie though.